need some. Midnight's not really lo-fi, are they?
Technically, no.
Yeah, although the instrumentals can have that. Yeah. Hang on a bit. You know what? There's one thing it's going to be really interesting after tonight. This is the last night, theoretically, that we're doing anything with 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Multivania is going to be on 26. And
Farewell 24, you will not be missed.
not really. I mean, it got the job done. But although what 26
It was functional.
Yeah, although considering the
Somewhat.
Payne's 26 is giving our calls right now.
Yeah.
We should probably say hi to them. Hey guys, it's us,
So,
Jeff and Tim. We have enabled fuck it mode because it's a dark night. Although for a dark night, we got a lot of shit going on.
I know.
I didn't think about it because look, you guys have proven to me one thing, and one thing truly, and that is it's a really damn good thing we have the no promos at Multivania rule. Because even on, hey, we'll just play your promos on a dark night, you guys got me 9. So, yeah.
Well, at the same time, if you hadn't announced that, we also wouldn't have gotten any because nobody would have. Kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, if we'd anyway, the point is, we're going to play some promos tonight. You guys give me a lot. I'm probably getting into Universe. I had all this stuff I had to set up tonight. And so the one thing I didn't bother with yet is the card, because we're going to do that interactively. Hi, Rosie. The thing is, it connects to Sajar, and I already got it loaded into the tool. Because unlike certain other people, I load everything into OBS ahead of time, because then I have to think about it less. Was that Rosa? Did I? Yeah, it was right. God damn it! God damn it! Hang on, I gotta go snag Rosa's again. I forgot it again. That's okay. It won't be that hard. I just gotta go find it. No, not the text. Where is it? Come on. No, that's okay. I know why I'm because I'm in the wrong section. That's why I can't find it. It's going to be one of the. You know what? I'm so glad it's an out of character night. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna. Anyway, I'm gonna be smart about this. Let me do it. There we go. So how's everyone doing tonight? Are we good? Are we copacetic? Are we bueno?
I'm tired.
I mean, me too, but that's a whole nother. All right, hang on. I'm gonna put up the game capture screen, just so. See, I swear to God, what some of the, one of the nice things about what we were going to do, things going forward, is I won't have problems like this any longer. Where, and first off, I'm just going to let this match happen. But I have a different version of Uncle Dunk than Zacho has, but Zacho and I are going to be sharing an account going forward. Let that one happen.
Yeah, far fewer issues with consistency.
Okay, this is a weird ass. You know what? I don't want to have a. Why are you not letting me? Oh, frickin', I started the show. Okay.
Womp womp.
Edit matches. All right. Yeah, that one just felt weird. I'm gonna let this one ride. No, because this one tries to happen. No. No. Yeah, sure. All right, we need a couple more matches. Who's here? Who's here? Let me see if I can figure. You know what? Okay, that'll work. He's here, right? I swear I saw him. Well, that's right. The thing doesn't always show me. Yeah, there's Devin. All right. Okay, it gives us what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one more. I think this next one I'm gonna do. Hey guys. Let's do this. Oh, well, the random has decided. Well, do we have another one? Sure. Why not? Yeah, I know I'm just sort of being basic tonight, but I'm allowed. As soon as this is all done, we'll start talking about stuff.
I had to order some food. I haven't eaten today.
I wolfed some stuff down before the show. I expect after we're done tonight, I'm going to be like freaking starving. All right. Let's rev this up. But let's start with, I want to start with a promo. You know what? I'm going to not just start with a promo. I'm going to start. So we're going to play Multivania promos, although the one we're going to play right now is the one I missed last week because Sawyer had a promo and I didn't play it. So this is the Sawyer promo that should have played on the Go Home show.
People say this so casually, but I'm not going to. I want you to hear it. I want you to feel the venom and the acidity of what I'm about to say. Fuck you. You're so great. You're so special. You're the chosen one. You're the ace. And what have I done, I entered into the Nexus, made a hell of a debut, then I got the opportunity. Took that opportunity and became the multiversal heavyweight champion faster than anyone before me and faster than anyone could hope to achieve. Me. I did that. And every time I've fallen, I've picked myself up. I've picked you up. I've picked Malice up, dusted us all off and kept us going. Me. I did all of that. Every championship I earned. Even as a tag team or a trios team, I did my part. Who was the one who entered into the ring with Mad Jack, gave him the stunner, and waltzed out? It wasn't you. That moment was mine. You did the sound for the big Bosco return, but it was me that was wearing the outfit. Me! That moment is immortalized in the intro to Warzone. I put asses in seats. I make people watch Warzone. I am one of the core reasons that people watch this show. Not only that, but I was the one that has been championed for Malice to have a fair shot for the Multiversal Heavyweight Championship. Me! Where were you, Mr. Booker Man? Huh? Where was that booking power to help Malice get that fair shot that you and I did? I don't hear anything about that. You know, I recall that you actually bucketed off to Flashbang, recruited Malice, and brought him over to Warzone. Maybe you should go back to the beach show. Maybe you can use those booker powers there and actually be useful. Face it, I am Warzone. You can have all the delusional demigods think they own Warzone, but I'm one of the core foundations of Warzone. You can't get rid of me. I will always be here. And that is undisputed.
So there we go. Yay. So that was good. That's a good. All right. Just gotta get game capture back. It's a spicy. All right. Now we just got 9 more of those to go tonight. Reminder to everyone. On Friday, Vania will be. The plan is to start at 4:30, and I'm doing that to accommodate Bosco because he.
Man's got a busy schedule.
God, you know, and then after what happened, you know, with last Friday, because Flashbang started 2 hours late because he had a session that ran long, and then he had to leave. Because he had a convention in Anaheim over the weekend and he wanted to go check into his hotel. So, yeah. I look, Rosso does great promos. We got some really good promo writers here. And, well, okay, it is good promo writing, yes, but good promo writing and good promo performance are not necessarily the same thing, and that we've got people that can do both is awesome. So, what the hell? Let's start this match. Oh, did I? Oh, no. Oh, there goes the ref. Now we're going to have some fun. So anyway, I don't know. So Tim and I were discussing lanterns before we went live. If anyone has, it's only 2 episodes in, but it's looking really good. I find it interesting that all of the DC Universe shows on HBO have, by and large, been pretty good. And I am counting Creature Commando in that.
I will say they have really doubled down on the mature aspect of their shows.
Oh yeah.
So many fucks. You go and look at Peacemaker.
Well, you look at Peacemaker, but even I'm trying to think. How many F-bombs has Hal Jordan dropped so far, do you think, so far?
I mean, I easily gotten into double digits now.
Yeah. So
that's kind of the point.
But here's the thing. I love, and I know that some people have been going, oh, we don't like the ring. I think the ring is great. And I think the battery is great because they're like, yeah, it's, the old caveat, it was a lantern. it looks lantern-like, but it's largely does look like a piece of alien technology. So I'm happy with it.
Yep. All right, let's see who's getting my order. Swear to God, if it's that bitch.
Also, thank you to Croc for the tier 1 resubscribe at 48 months.
Apologies, y'all. I've been dealing with a specific door dasher
Oh God,
that has
No.
caught my ire.
not again.
So
You know,
I'm,
if it happens,
Waiting
the
to
third,
see who's delivering my order.
or yeah, because you can see their name.
Yeah.
I take it you've been
And
giving
for
them
anybody
bad
that is
reviews
familiar
too.
with the story, yes, it did in fact happen a second time. I think that's fair, Squinto.
I'm trying to remember who was. Somebody was. There was. Oh, I can't remember who it was. Somebody was suggesting a really good Barry Allen to be that would be a contemporary of this Hal Jordan. Anyway, but yeah, so we're setting it up so that Arkoff set up a account that all four of us, myself, Zacho, Bosco, and Arkoff, can access. And it's what we're going to use for Warzone. Bosco will still have another version on his account, but we are going to have a... Oh, that was quick. And won! Thank you for the raid with a party of 5. Which is great timing because I'm getting ready to play your promo next. And also you get a match. So, you know, your timing is excellent, Wondiferous. Anyway. Somebody was saying they want a John Constantine. We always want a John Constantine. It's going to really be hard to beat what Matt Ryan did with the character, but, you know, he got very CW'd.
Yeah, I really wish we could get him back for the, Time version, or what was it that it originally aired on?
Well, NBC did the original Constantine show that he was in.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
And then they brought him over for CW. And yeah, it was always a little iffy if that was the exact same iteration of the character or not.
Right.
And then he did a bunch of the animated, so...
Well, and he did do several episodes of Legends.
Well, sure, but they made him a regular on Legends for like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. They made him... The actor was a regular on Legend for 3 seasons. But in 2 of those seasons, he played John Constantine. And then they stopped, for whatever reason, they stopped using Constantine. I think some DC mandate. But they kept the actor around as a different character.
Mm.
So
Maybe that's when talk started back up about Keanu wanting to do another one.
Right, and well, here's the thing. I think you could. I mean, we've got a precedent now with Batman. You could let Keanu have that Constantine and still do a proper British Constantine movie, and I don't think anyone would give one F.
Yeah, it's the same universe as the one from the first movie, and that's that.
Yeah.
And just get Matt Ryan or somebody else to do this one.
All right.
I know we probably won't get Matt Ryan, but I'm holding out hope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's always the question of, well, who else would you? I mean, obviously, there's a whole bunch of, okay, which British actor would you get?
Well, it's
shit!
like,
Hang on, I gotta fix my stream elements. Please continue.
there's no. It's like if he's available and he's up for it, I don't see any reason to try and go for somebody else.
I mean, yeah. I just realized I haven't reset anything from yesterday. And so we still have the Disneyland scroll, and I think we still have the Disneyland redeems, which I really don't want to leave up. But that's cool, because I can work on that while we play the Jacques promo. So,
Yeah, there you go.
Why don't we do that?
There is nothing quite like the taste of victory at your fingertips. I have been washing it down with a glass of Paladin Red. Tonight at the Crimson Cabaret, the vampires and villains drink on the house. It is Vegas after all, and I treat my people well. Some of my staff have been waiting just as long as me to get this close to the title, so everyone is in a good mood thanks to this briefcase. But being Mr. Mega Money in the Bank is not good enough for me. How about Mr. Multiversal Nexus? But we have a few numbers to go, don't we, before the curtain call of the night. So I'd like to take this moment and thank our wonderful Multiverse Nexus Wrestling Company, its staff and production, and every single person who's about to make my dreams come true at Multivania. Or after. Who knows when I'll cash in after all. But every one of you made this place what it is. And I want you to remember that when you watch Tommy Black and the Blue Hood beat each other within an inch of their lives. Oh, hello, little ram. Alright, one last thing before I go. These are rams from my corner of the multiverse. Raised in orc tundras, they later came to flourish in my vampiric lands. But they are as mischievous as they are hungry, so watch Sep. Keep your wallets close and your nourishment closer. After all, when they really want something, they'd sooner lay siege to it than take no for an answer. And yes, they do know how to operate siege machines. I wonder who taught them that. Now sit back and enjoy the show, Multiverse, because not all the cards have been played. And as we do in Vegas, get ready for me to go all in.
There we go. Somewhere Jerry's going, God damn it! It's his fault! Anyway. So let's see who wins. Alright, yeah, so this one's going to get a proper entrance. Oh yeah, it's really weird. Oh yeah, we turned the announcer off. This is usually Tim. But hey.
Yeah, I'm turned off for the night.
That's as well you should be. Just wait until the moths invade. God damn it, Bob. All right, Bob, you've done this. So, and Wondiferous with those beers. Those are beers. So the other night, because this week started.
No, those are moths.
Are those?
Yeah, that's Juan's emote.
Oh, all right, cool. Anyway, I was gonna say, so this month's Stardust Rhapsody stream had to be canceled due to emergency vet visit, and so I did end up on the Neon Odyssey Discord, and Mikey Gilder of Evantris was there, just chatting with everyone, and you know, one of the things he had mentioned is that in Neon Odyssey there will be an entire section on, and here's how you build the stat block for a planet. And it's like, cool, are we getting that in the current playtest? He's like, sadly, no, but it's like something to look forward to. And I'm just thinking, oh God, what planets could, what insane planets could we come up with?
I remember the some of the older Spelljammer methods being relatively okay.
Yeah. I mean, he said world tags will be available in the playtest coming out on Friday, but that they are going to have far more robust world building rules in the future. So, and then here's, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I love working with this character. I mean, Mudkip is a collaborative player, and this character just hits this nice spot that lets us tell a lot of different stories. And honestly, the way Mudkip has done the voice, it's a character I can just lock into for promos. Well, I think, yeah, Bob, he's a great plot device character. He's also a character that, even if he's not on the show a lot, he's really easy to keep relevant. And that can be a really important thing, is if you need to spotlight other characters and then have this character come back and he's lost nothing. Ugh. And Jaunt just works as a great antagonist.
Wow, I'm having a damn yawning fit.
Hey, look, we're both, you know what? Here's the thing though. I don't know about you. I gotta make sure I'm at least somewhat rested up by Friday.
True.
I would say one of the things is that having a group like the Dark Lords work really well. They're kind of low-key the replacement of the Empire of Terror. All right. And here we go.
I have a very short anime rant I just want to get out there.
Yeah.
I am sick of the YouTube videos where the premise is the members of the cast, not the actual voice actors, no, the characters reacting to their show.
Yeah.
And it's just like random people, quote unquote, doing the parts of the characters reacting to the show.
Ah.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Well, I know that on Venture Brother audio commentaries, especially early on, the two creators would do audio tracks as characters from the show reacting to it. But considering the two of them played almost over half the characters, they could change it up which characters they were playing.
Well, and they're actual voice actors.
Yeah, that's true too. So does that, Travis, does that mean you're going to be reacting to the Hot Wheels movie when it comes out? I can't believe there's a Hot Wheels movie coming out.
And it doesn't look terrible.
Wait. Did I set this up weird? Because that was a tap out, right?
I missed it.
Yeah, Jean, I think pretty clearly tapped out, but the ref didn't call it. I'm sure they're doing some weird, the system is going, oh, he didn't see it.
It's an absolutely silly premise, but I mean, what else are you going to do with a movie based on Hot Wheels?
You know, Sage, speaking of vampire magic, so last month? Yeah, last month. There we go. Last month they released D&D 5.5 rules for Vampire the Masquerade type kindred. And I didn't buy it because I'm learning. But I checked out a lot of reviews. And what has become very clear is one person put it best. Winner Jean Tristram, yeah. Or no, winner. Wait, did it call? No, it says winner Adrian Driscoll. Right there. He got the green. He got the pin. He did. It's all, you know, all copacetic. Anyway, so they created kindred rules where kindred is your class and your clan is your subclass. And one person said that this is only balanced if you set it in a World of Darkness style world and the only characters are kindreds. That balance-wise, it does not work if you try and include any other D&D classes. And I'm like, okay, so there's okay, it can work if you really want to play Vampire with D&D rules. But otherwise, yeah. All right, let's see. Who do we got? Because I got 9 promos. Well, I got 8 left to do. 2 of them are going to go together. You know what? I'm going to do our first Flashbang promo. And this is a promo posted by, well, it is the Sandman, Damian Anderson.
Well, here we are. Multivania. And here I am going after a damn briefcase. I never thought I'd be in a position where I was desperate for anything. But here we are. I'm desperate because if I don't get this, all I've worked for, all I'll ever do from here, it'll mean nothing. And quite the field of people I have to go through to get there. Nigma, I respect you, don't get me wrong, but I can't let respect get in the way. So, sorry, but I need that case. Lucius Constantine. I hope hell won't mind me sending your sorry ass back empty-handed, old-timer. Reaper, no hard feelings, but I need this more than you. Xericus, you're not the only one tired of being so close yet so far. If it means I get that briefcase, then to hell with your commandment. I'm going to have to be your wake-up call. DeLuna, your honor's going to have to wait because I will not let you stop me. Kathgina, are you doing this to stop me again? How many more times are you going to hurt me like this? No matter. Time isn't on your side, and neither is luck. And now, to the one I never thought I'd see again. Hello, Jagger. You picked a hell of a time to show up. Shame I have to send you back empty-clawed, Stormcrow. I need this more than any of you. So, exit light. Enter night. The Sandman cometh, and he's here for this fight.
I mean, honestly, that was a really good promo. Just flat out. All right, and now let's see some Taga team action. And also, guys, remember, this is an out of character night. You got any questions? Ask us. Any questions about stuff going on with Vania? Anything? I can tell you about 26 that I know, and the next season. And we're here. How is conversion going? It's done. Arkoff finished all the characters. The biggest issue we're having right now is there is a need to transfer characters between accounts, and 2K has completely messed up the download process. So we have issues getting characters across, and it's being a problem, is what it's being. So here's the thing I want to say about Unkley versus Theron Sage. Right off the bat, Hex and Unkley are two of the most collaborative guys I have to work with. Especially their basic I'm down for anything attitude. And they're really good about understanding this is the story and I'm not going to take it personally. And the fact that they have been working together, they have done joint promos. honestly, that was half the reason to throw them into a program. And this is just, I never did remember to take pain off of the ICC tag team setting. That won't be a problem in 26. Zacho is setting everything up. Because as I've said even tonight, one of the biggest challenges that has existed is, you know, there'll be a change in a character, and then it's like, hey Zacho, did you get me the new Draco Rex? Was a hard one where we had to keep remembering to do that. I had to work really hard to get an update. I never did. I don't know if I ever did get the professional on here or not. I'd have to double check. I don't always remember things. I'm old. But you know, sometimes things would just be out of sync look-wise, or you know, who holds the belts. So having a single account that we're sharing is going to save us from a lot of that. Oh, God. Well, that's a hard one. We got a lot of good stuff this year. I'm always looking forward to the main events because we put a lot of work into them. And this year is no different. A lot of great stuff's happening with the main event. I'm not gonna lie. I am really looking forward to what we're doing with the Unkley Theron match. But if I had to call one I'm absolutely 100% looking forward to, it is the tag team match. We got some really interesting stuff we're going to be doing with that match, especially because it's, you know, the Ant being forced to fight against his team and how we're going to resolve that. As for the flashbang stuff, I will say one other thing. It's not strictly flashbang, but the crossover matches are going to be fun. Of those, I am particularly looking forward to the Nice Ice Roman match because there's been some good background tension built in that one. Although, as I'm going over this, there's an absolute aspect here of, so which of your kids is your favorite?
What's up? I just got back.
Oh, I was being asked without giving spoilers, what's my favorite match for this Multivania? And, you know, we've got so many good stories in the works. It does feel a little like, hey, what's your favorite kid?
Gotcha.
But I was saying, I think the multiversal tag, just because what we're going to be doing with that story is going to be a lot of fun. Bob, all I will say for the NG match, Bosco is being a typical Bosco and not frickin' telling me.
I mean, in his defense, you admitted you had defeat before you're trying.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
you knew
true.
he wasn't going to tell you anyway.
I knew. Well, and yeah, it's
Or
just,
if he did tell you, it'd be a lie.
yeah, yeah. I'm so used to, because in the past I have asked him, "Hey, what's going on with this?" He'll tell me something, and it turned out he told me last year Phoenix was going to lose the main event, and that Squinto was Victor was going to keep for another year. And the fact that he kept that belt on Victor for so freaking long anyway, I was like, he could be telling me the truth. So it's just Bosco has this thing because what he wants to do is he wants to surprise me. But it does mean that I unless we're planning something really specific, I cannot, it's going to be a guessing game. So I know what Bosco has told me will be the NG match this year, but I don't know if I can believe him or not. I think what little he's told me is probably accurate, but I don't know what he's doing. And there's a blitzkrieg. He really does. Although Bosco is like the master of not saying shit. I have been friends with this man since 2019. And I can tell you very little about his personal life. We were trying to get an address for him because Zaka wanted to send him a t-shirt and he wouldn't give it to us. We had to get the t-shirt to somebody who was going to be at a convention he was going to be at. So, which on one hand, I think because he does have a celebrity status, and after some of the stuff that happened with the Has Bunnies, I do not blame the man one bit for wanting to keep many aspects of his life personal. Well, yeah, and
Are we supposed to have something going on screen?
oh, God damn it. And we've been having a whole damn match going on. Hang on. I'm sorry, guys.
There we go.
The Transformers will return after these messages. Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
Easily remedied.
Yeah, because I'm watching everything from the actual game. I'm not, and then I'm just glancing over at chat, and and I'm so used to that damn circle. So, anyway, what was the question? Favorite factions in MNW history?
Atari Games has brought you a constant stream of steady.
For Warzone, I am going to be honest. I always loved Omega Club. And yeah, they were riffing off of other stuff, as particularly Bullet Club. But I just always loved Omega Club. But to be fair, I also really liked the Republic back in the day. For heel factions, I mean, I really have to, I think, give it up for, honestly, the Empire of Terror. The Empire of Terror was a great heel faction. But the other one that I really, really enjoyed was the New Four Horsemen. And you know, there were some one-off groups or Conquest Bloodline was great because some good writing. Yeah, Lucha on the Rocks was a fun one. I loved a lot of the old ones. I think one of the things though is the first MNW show I ever saw was the first Apocalypse. I think it was the first Apocalypse. With the and the first match I ever saw was the end of the Wish Upon a Brawl, which is in part why I like the Super Heavenly Beats, but it also means the first villain I ever saw was Grimm. And you were in that match, right, Tim?
That
was back in that when you were in a faction with Grimm.
Oh, the Order, or was it the Order? I don't remember how.
I think it was.
We were.
So, well, do you remember if you were in the final of Wish Upon a Brawl?
I do not remember.
I think it because I seem to remember that it was Grimm. So that would mean you were in that match too. So anyway, that was the first thing I saw. But then the next match had the Vacants. And that was when I was like, the fuck? So. Which is why I always in character state that was the night Jerry Aldini got hired backstage. It's just because it's the first night I watched. And it was like, oh, I need to watch more of this. And now here I am doing this. Yeah, you got to remember, I wasn't here for the original Clown arc. That had completed by the time I came around.
Dark times. Dark times.
But for the longest time, Taka had the poster for that with Trash Man with the orange hair as his transition screen. Well, you see, because the very first arc I encountered was the Inquisition arc, where I was there for the beginning of the story. And so there were things like I didn't quite get the joke with Taiku. Which is interesting in retrospect because Taiku has become part of the creation's backstory. Which, it was funny, back in the day I wanted to kind of... I treated it as a background thing because I didn't have the ability to say this is canon. And then once I had the ability to say this is canon, it became canon. The hat arc was definitely an arc where I was like, I basically is like, Kurt, what are you taking and are you sharing? I am very purposely not saying what Bosco told me. Again, because I'm not 100% sure it's true. And also because I don't want to spoil things. Okay, I had to look away for a second. What's more of a Caliban question? It's from Squinto. Let me go through the. I mean, I do have a habit of trying to pull out old stuff if I can remember it. And I'm pretty sure doing the Hood Tommy thing last week, I was referencing a lot of their histories. Just because I do like to do that. And yeah, I know that part of what I referenced, I know I made an allusion to the Hat arc. And that was definitely for the old timers. And I do feel there is a fine line for that kind of thing, because you don't want to wallow in old history, because a lot of people weren't around for some of that stuff.
You also give the risk of confusing people that it's not just a one-off.
Yeah.
They make an appearance and now they've been brought back into the conscious, and they're like, oh, so when are we going to see them again? That's exactly what we planned. Oh, and Zombie mentioning Lucha Underground reminded me, if anybody's curious, it looks like the Lucha Underground YouTube channel has been slowly uploading full episodes of season 1.
Oh, nice. I love season. I love the whole thing. But okay, so there's a couple of questions in here I want to address really quick. What did I think of Wilson and their story? Marilyn was a real student of wrestling, not just of the history, but of the storytelling. And Wilson started off as Marilyn just wanting to create an easily usable, easily hateable heel. And then the character evolving. I do feel... Here's the thing. If I had my druthers, if there was one character I could bring back, it would be Wilson. Because Wilson, the whole arc, especially the final arc, was, I felt, perfection. And a lot of that was due to Marilyn and her grasp of storytelling. So that's my Wilson's thought. Zombie talking Trashman Universe mode, Lucha Underground, when Lucius was a cruiserweight, was short. You know, man, I mean, that's ultimately, I mean, that dude is 100%. Why the hell is that so low? Is that going to be right in transition mode? Yeah, it's going to be right in transition mode. I mean, that ultimately is what led to MNW as it is. So here's the thing. Wilson had a completion, Travis, that Marilyn wanted, but Marilyn also wanted was done. And here's the thing, I don't think we'd have the same magic with Wilson if Marilyn wasn't contributing to the story, because a lot of what made Wilson work were Marilyn's contributions. But you're saying with permission we will hear. I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. I always hope to know. Marilyn is great. Okay, I'm gonna do another promo. And what I got next queued up? Oh, Devin.
Hello, Warzone, and everyone else watching. I know what you're thinking. I should be happy, right? Right? To be honest, I'm not happy at all for what happened. Jack and I wanted the tag team titles. I wanted the tag team titles. But I guess Jack wanted the spotlight or something else. I have no clue. You see, Warzone, I'm not out to keep betraying my friends or tag team partners, and if I did, then why would I keep banging on Jerry's door? Why would I keep trying to get Zoo Nation every chance to get the tag team titles? Why the hustle? Why would I keep pushing us so far to end like this? Multiverse isn't and wasn't our dream. The tag team titles were. And to show the world that even underdogs can be something. Now I'm numb. Like the fire on that table on the Go Home show. It burned out. I'm burned out. So what's next? I really don't know. You tell me, Jerry. You tell me. I'll keep fighting. But right now, I don't know what to fight for.
Let's do that. All right, so that is. So, yep, Devin, who again a character that we are going to be seeing more of in the new season. So here, I keep saying new season. So we very much treat Multiverse as the season finale, and whatever happens after Multiverse is the starting of a new season. Which is kind of, I think, how Wars. It's not how MN or WWE does it, but they do have something that defines seasons. I'm just trying to remember what it is, because I don't think they use WrestleMania as the. Okay, so Squinto's asking if I could get a match type in, what would it be? Dog collar matches are cool. Honestly, I have a old school favorite. And it had a couple of different names: cowbell match, rope match. But it was the match where the two wrestlers, it's very similar to a dog collar match, and the two wrestlers are tied together. And the winning stipulation is you have to hit all four turnbuckles sequentially. And I remember one of the first really good matches I saw with Steve Austin was one of those matches. And that kind of showed, oh, this can work really well, especially if you've got the right characters doing it. So, and it was a WWE match, so they could get in the game. And it's, well, and Travis, to your point, yeah, we're not WWE. And for us, we've been very solid about, we do Multiverse either in July or August. It's kind of becoming August just because we need the time. And then anything after that is the new season. Strap match, yeah, I think that's what it is also called. Shinobi. Let's start this. And it's just, you had creative matches like that back in the day. What do I accidentally say? So, did I mention... Oh, that's right. Did I mention my music files got a little effed? The nice thing is, since Zacho and I will be working off the same thing, this shouldn't happen again. I hope. And if it does, since Zacho can get right in there, it'll be easier to fix. Anyway, I think that I'll tell you the match type I never want to see back again, but I don't think anyone's going to do it, and that is bra and panties. But if it is, I want it to be one of the funniest damn things I ever I remember was when Perry Saturn was challenging male wrestlers. Or no, I think he was doing bra and panty matches, and he'd come out, and I think he was trying to challenge women wrestlers. All I remember was the 1 week where he did an open bra and pant, and he comes out in a dress. Yeah, because I still have Meg on the game, and it brought him up, and I was like... And Al Snow came out in a dress singing Some Enchanted Evening. And basically saying, what the hell, I accept your challenge. And they were even playing it as Al was going, bro, there's something wrong with you, and that's coming from me, but I'm down to play. He's been here before when this has happened on a dark show. The nostalgia, I think he's fine with the nostalgia. And oh, that's exactly why it happened, CJ. So much as, well, Vince thought it was good. There were a bunch of stuff that should have just died on the vine and didn't because Vince thought it was cool. No, please, let's not bring in Katie Vick. We're having a good time. Again, this is a weird-ass team-up, but I'll take it. Yeah, and that is, in fact, it is in the queue. I've got it loaded into my OBS. That promo.
Got this idea for a match type rolling around in my head.
Really?
And it's basically a wrestling version of the Shell game.
Huh.
Where there are basically 3 different areas. Like, say, in the ring, outside the ring, and a third one, like, backstage.
Yeah.
Only one of them can you be pinned in. but nobody knows which one it is. So they have to try and pin each other in the different locations and see if that's where they're supposed to win.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of Squinto asking what feud or match between two wrestlers of faction would you like to see that haven't happened yet, or they could use a renewal. That's kind of a weird one for me, Squinto, only because as a showrunner, I get input on the show. So a lot of feuds or things like that I want to see, I have enough stroke to make happen. You know, I can say, hey, can we do this? And it can be done. A lot of what has happened this last year with Alba and the Blue Hood is based on some of that. And also, I am a firm believer that some feuds run their course, and, you know, revisiting them. If a story has played out, it's played out. And I personally, you know, I think one of the things I try and avoid is, well, let's retread to something I liked, because honestly, the story's done. You know, I get a little uppity when I see Roman Reigns in the world title scene again, to be honest. Because it's like, let's build up some of the younger guys.
I wouldn't be as bothered by it if it was just him, but it's the whole damn Samoan Anawahi family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The bloodline angle needs to die.
Yeah.
Please.
But that's also, all right. I'm going to bring this to being analogous with comic books, because I am of a theory that comics also need to have a freaking evolution. And I do mean by that stories absolutely need to end. And one of the problems with how a lot of comic books are, you know, a lot of the mainstream is they reboot or they renew stuff or whatever, but the stories don't actually get to end. And I feel some of the best comic book series of all time are ones that freaking ended. My prime example of that being Transmetropolitan.
Yeah, unfortunately, my counter to that is one more day.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when they try to put an end on something, it does not go well.
True, but I would also argue that in the case of One More Day, that was because I'm blanking on his name. Quesada wanted to return Spider-Man to how Spider-Man was when Quesada was growing up. But he didn't want to, because he didn't like a married Spider-Man. But he didn't have the wherewithal to, you know, let him and MJ divorce. Because his whole point was he didn't like how Peter had aged.
Right.
And so that's less... That is a lot more of, it's indicative of the overall problem that I have. And I just don't think that, and writers still can't quite bring themselves to just, frick, we're done with one more day. Let's reset things, because it seems like Marvel has this huge allergy to having Peter and MJ together in the comics, even though every bit of outside media has them as a couple, and people coming to the comics are basically going, the hell? But yeah, that's and Heavenward. But that's my feeling on feuds, basically, as well. That, when a feud is ended, not letting a feud go can be stale. Although, I'll be the first to say, there are times when you can put two wrestlers back together and it's going to be magic. And to that, I'm thinking about things like the chemistry between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But that's also two people that are so in sync, they're practically telepathic in the ring. Which I remember was, a lot of people were wondering if we actually saw Paul in Brand New Day. Of course, Brand New Day, that was just some good writing. But enough about that. Because I could just...
I'm like you. I kind of feel like you with Masters of the Universe. Like,
I am
didn't
warming
dislike
more.
it,
Yeah.
but like there's aspects of it that didn't work for me.
Yeah. I will admit I'm warming to Masters of the Universe more, but I also feel the things I felt didn't work still didn't work.
Yeah.
But I am willing to be more forgiving of the parts of it that was fun. Also, it became a hit on once it got to streaming, which is a whole nother problem that we've covered on VTuber streams.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the current business model of a lot of the movie studios is actually damaging to in-theater box office. And I think we saw that with
unfortunately,
both.
the box office itself isn't doing itself any favors.
Oh no. But I mean, I think both Masters of the Universe and Supergirl suffered from people going, I'll wait for streaming.
Oh, and then you've got Mandalorian and Grogu, which is why this is just what would be on streaming.
Yeah. And another Heavenward. Ugh. All right, Westwind, do you have that out of your system? Are you going to get back in the ring? I love that Juan's just like, bro. So I find it interesting what you're saying about Lucha Underground uploading their old stuff. Just because, I mean, there was a lot of good wrestling in early Lucha Underground.
Well, you see a number of the top stars today maybe not get their start.
Oh yeah,
but they were a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you had Penta and Ray. You had Ricochet as, I forget what he had, the military themed character. Was it Crosshair?
No idea.
You had Jeff Cobb as the monstrous character. You had Sexy Star, which is just a sad story. And of course, you had Morrison. And in later seasons, you had Luchasaurus. Although I don't know if that was the name he was using. But you also have some people that are still like big deals in AAA. I mean, Pimpinella Escalada was a big part of the El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano feud. Most influence. So, Bob, that's kind of an interesting one. I think for a lot of early influence, you know, there's a part of me that we cannot deny the influence of Trashman Jones, largely because that was Kurt's focus. I do feel, and you know, this isn't just because you're asking the question, but I do feel that Dr. Grimm, because we've been able to build, I forgot that Juan is a move thief. Grimm, because between his in-ring actions and a lot of the legendary stuff we've done, you know, making him building him up as a massive threat, because people are always talking about him, and that's a huge part of it. I think the other one I would throw in there. Well, Tim, who do you think? Who do you think has, just as a character, not the player, but the character? Who do you think's has the most influence?
I mean, yeah, Grimm's got to be up there.
Because the other one I would think of would be Probanaga.
Yeah.
In all of his iterations. Actually, you know, the other person I think has done a lot, and he's done it across two shows. God, is he here? Because he's gonna go nuts when I say this.
Oh yeah,
Theron.
Oh,
I think Theron has. Yeah, Tyson and Vicious and Nero definitely for Flashbang. But I
thought you were gonna say the MVP.
No, because I mean that's definitely a case where the in-ring character is overshadowed by the guy. But I think Theron's done a lot. I think, you know, and you know, we're getting a lot of, you know, people are saying Ginger Boy, and it's like a lot of and there's I think that one comes also down to what people, you know, what people have seen, what people know. I'm trying to look at it through a lens as one of the storytellers of who's had the most impact on the story and that we still know. And that's, you know, it's like, you know, we still have the professional route. So Probanaga is still an active figure. We still have Tyson around. Grimm is still a factor. So they're the ones that even people who weren't around in the day are still going to know. Ginger Boy's like, you know what? I'm going to say one other person, though. And Sage said it, but he's here too. I think, especially with the rain, you cannot ignore the influence of Victor Vicious. But it also helps that Squinto is such a good promo writer. And Squinto as a promo writer has that great bit about keeping true to his character, but he is one of the best heel promo guys because he will say stuff that is perfectly in character and even perfectly legitimate, but in a way that's going to piss you off. I remember getting personally angry early on in the Victor storyline when he started stealing Dr. Caliban's catchphrases. And the thing is, that was a perfect use of that. It's like, that should be pissing you off. So, because I think there's also there are different ways to be influential. And part of it is in-ring performance, which is something that the players can't necessarily themselves. Yeah, the whole proper villain stealing thing, Squinto, that was genius. Not only because it was obviously pissing, the part of me that resonates with Dr. Caliban was pissed off, but also the fact that it is something that Victor could make a legitimate claim towards. So when you're looking at influence, you've got promos, and that is both promos done essentially by Bosco and I, but also promos that the players do themselves. But also just how the in-ring story goes. And I think there has to be a balance because, not everyone is going to be at the same skill level of doing promo work. And I don't want to take away from people who can't necessarily do the promos as well as some of the more experienced guys. So, and speaking of promos, we need to do another one. This one got put in. It did show on Flashbang on Friday, but he wanted it played again, and it's interesting enough for him to do it. So this one comes from our good friend Sage, and is absolutely about the Smoking Mirror storyline.
Intlakosios, kasitlapanque pampaqui marque para eliaya ome itlakayo. One tlen quisquas pampa imoquebilis. Estli, ica estli. Inique palehuis, quis emcahuis, tlen itech monequis. Ashkan kochi idictio. In osequin ashkan nemi ipan tlaltikpak. Setonali ipan tlamashti listli almoqueba. In tlacosilot. In shayakak shonot. In tlachisque imea. In ekaliot ihuanishia quetzal. Tlamatwe teut tlatoya. Ishimatka itai ayo ishmantio ipanse tlaudil chivalse tlatarkati lili tlendemonequi intlatawani ihuante kitlakat titlania se itlakayot nawali kimase huili totech ishitla tlaele huistle Titlanel toca in tlen tiquitas, inishitla in nawali te kutli, altic wintla polvoltis in osent quintin ica, tlaltacoli, titla camatqui in tiquitasque, amodiquitasque, in mota toque alcin, tiquitaque pan tepec, popocatepec, Timahuquite anon tiquitasque motechpa. Isla cayot nawali. Ijuan motejuan. Tlaltoque te chismatisque. Yoale ehekar. Nicoquiayot. Tloque nahuaque. Ilhuicahua tlantipaque. Wei osilok. Descatli boca. Tlatoani. Mitlante curli. Mizja.
So that is definitely a thing. Dude, that was how much work? That's how much work between the animation and the script, and I mean, I know you speak Spanish, but still, it's just there you go. I also saw a couple other Shinobi Heroes overthinking when you do. Yeah, there are a lot of things. So I feel all right. Wasn't SPAC. It was. See there, I'm showing my ignorance. But thank you. One of the things that I find interesting. So I'm part of Toastmasters, and it's interesting how much my speech writing has had crossover with my promo writing. Because in the end, it's the same skill. And a lot of the training in Toastmasters is about, getting clarity. And I've always been very much, myself as a promo writer, I'm always about, there's a goal. Each promo should have a goal. And the goal has to be moving the story forward. And there are different goals from a heel promo and a face promo. And the ultimate goal of a heel promo is to put over the face. And the ultimate goal of a face promo is to get over. That's cool and makes sense with Travis's skill set. And also, I don't disagree, because improv can be a great source of getting some of this work done. I was thinking, as that last promo was going, I was realizing, you know what I miss? And I don't know that its day is fully gone, but I think the way it used to be is definitely, there's part of me that misses Firing Line. Back when... I
mean, I miss the show. I don't miss the work that went into it.
Yeah, we did we went a little crazy. We put a little work.
Well, it's just like the ability to try and do something like that now just doesn't work. But
no,
like, yeah, the general idea of the show, I miss doing, but...
Well, and because I was also thinking about things like in Multiverse season, we'd be doing interviews. We'd be doing we'd do a round table to talk to people. So I miss some of that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, and I realized it's 7:30, and we still got stuff to do. We still got promos to go through, but I'm always the one saying, "Hey, we should take a break because you really should stretch your legs." And even though I've been sneaking out during some of the promos because I'd listened to them already to go use the restroom, it's still a good idea to encourage. So let's do this. Let's take a break. I'm just gonna play commercial number 2, and yeah, we can talk more about this and have our next match. So we'll be back in about 5, guys. See you then.
Don't you just hate it when you're in a great one-on-one match going up for a fly-high and moonsault when you totally miss and eat more turnbuckle than a ravenous George the Animal Steele? Then you, my friend, might need to get your eyes checked. Hi, I'm former professional wrestler Dr. See It Coming, and we here at Eye to Eye Optometrists specialize in glasses, contact lenses, and overall eye health for the wrestling impaired. Our flexible one-of-a-kind contact lenses are guaranteed to fit all sizes and be a comfort fit even as you get your eyes poked out by your mortal enemy. We even have some eyewitnesses to testify how great these eyes are. Mr. Simon the Psycho, what do you think of your new contact lenses? Oh, God! Oh, there goes our new intern. Ha ha! Come on down and book an appointment with Dr. Seared Cummin, and you and I will see eye to eye.
Sup, dudes? Do you want to look as gnarly as one of your favorite wrestlers on show who's holding one of the world titles from MNW? Well, you totally can, without even leaving your couch at Totally Tyler's Titles. For only $39.99, you too can own a complete replica of one of MNW's famous titles, like the MNW World Heavyweight Championship, the Tag Team, the Nexus Titan, the Interdimensional Championship, dude. So you can show up to your parents and show how gnarly you are, or you could secretly try and claim that you're formerly the title champion holder by holding a knockoff title. So come on down to Totally Tyler's Titles, where you can be a title holder today.
No official MNW wrestlers are allowed to hold the titles if they're a replica, unless you want to talk to Jim in the back.
What are you, blind, Rev? He clearly went for a roll-up reverse coil. This just can't be happening. This is some bull!
Is this you? Well, even if it isn't, I'm sure many of you have met these kinds of people, just marking up the walls of your favorite shows. Don't worry, we have the solution. With the Mark Manager. Yes, with the Mark Manager, we clean up the big marks, small marks, marks you didn't realize that were there, and marks that have always been there. We've even updated our product to help you clean off the toughest of marks.
Of course he was gonna lose the championship. If you'll look at my 42-page blog from last week, we can clearly see that the producers were going to have him. Hey, what are you doing? Huh?
So sign up and get your Mark Manager today. And remember, with a little bit of, any mark is manageable.
Fuck, it went up my nose!
Hey baby, it's me, Suplex Sam, and I'm here to tell you about my brand new experience, baby. On the Suplex Express, we're serving up hot dishes and hot meals for all your homies. It's time for Suplex Sam, the soup made for me, baby. Sam I am. Tired of your lunches being soupless? Don't worry, baby. Suplex Sam's got you covered. We got all the flavors. Wonton Wilson's, the beef drippings, the Doctor of Alphagetti, and the VI Pheromone. And of course, the signature soup, the Plex, so you can have your Suplex any day, anytime with yours truly, baby. So come on down to the Suplex Express and get yourself a can of Suplex Sam.
Are your heebies and jeebies? Are your ants in your pants? Do you get the butterflies in your stomach when you have to go up against a 400-pound, muscle-bound murder man who's trying to beat you in the ring? Don't worry, we have the solution for you. From the makers of the laxative product Let It Go comes the anti-anxiety medication Fuck It All. That's right, with a big old scoop of Fuck It All, you too can get yourself relaxed before any situation. Hand-picked and freshly squeezed from the teats of Tibetan relaxation monks. It comes with absolutely no long-term side effects. No, not at all. Yes, the anti-anxiety can make you stand up and say, fuck it all.
Warning, this product may contain extreme doses of caffeine and methamphetamine. If consumed by more than one human, those 2 humans may or may not cause to duel or explode. And this product is dairy-free.
High Flyer Airlines is the leading air carrier for all professional wrestling. We customized our planes to fit the biggest of egos. With fine velvet and leather seats, a custom-made full banquet by Chef Manatee, and a working vocal booth, so you can make your promos while you're on the go.
Wait a minute, this isn't a bathroom!
High Flyer Airlines. We're leading the air in wrestling care.
I'm stuck inside the booth!
Introducing Mizuki and Nero action figure dolls with intense hand-holding couple action, maximum lewdness. Watch the world's deadliest power couple have intense action conversations.
Honey, did you take out the dog today? I ate the dog! Very good.
Oh yeah!
Push the buttons on the back of both action dolls to get both of them to be the parents of Earth. The new Mizuki and Nero action figure dolls.
Each sold separately, but then put together as a couple.
Well, I guess I missed saying goodnight to Squinto. But goodnight, Matrix. Thank you for the posters, which we will be looking at the end of the show tonight. In no particular order. So I have to... The program, the way the OBS program is set up, it will show the posters in alphabetical order, which isn't always the order I want to show them in. So usually prepping like I did on Monday or like I will do for Friday, I would set them very specific. I'd set numbers in front of them to get them in the right order. But tonight because I grabbed them right before the show. So it's just going to be kind of random tonight, which is my word. We're loosey-goosey. So I think... Sorry, yeah?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah. Let's do one more promo, because we got to get through them before the end of the show. And while he's still here, because some people are dropping off, let's play Jaggers.
Jagger Blackthorn, back on Flashbang to compete in the brass briefcase match of Multivania. What the hell does that mean to me? It's like taking a vacation in an old stomping ground, with a few extra bugs I gotta squash out. Aside from an obvious personal grudge, I have a chance to do what 4 other Warzone competitors have only gotten in the past. However, how does that make me feel now? Well, it's hard to say. Old faces that have aged like mine have come to life differently than these days. It's amazing how the passage of time changes a person, and no one has seen more change in their lives than yours truly in the past few years. But enough about that. Bulldog, Citric, Fox, El Pollo, and especially you, Artemis. The 5 of you need to pay very close attention to this match, because I have my eye on all of you. Keep your eyes to the sky and your wits ready, because the wingspan of the Stormcrow is now circling all 5 of you. So saith Jagger Blackthorn.
So there you go.
Yep.
I guess let's do this match. God, I still haven't. So this is a case of I keep forgetting to take the belts off the characters in the game, which is why they keep coming out like this. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of, oh no, they're still willing the belts to mock them, which is just covering for the fact that I keep forgetting to update the models. So, speaking of things I miss, But back in the day of Spectre Sonata, I loved how they would do song parodies, and it was to the point of, okay, they're basically a band. And I mean, that's my whole point there, right? Yeah, and there's only one member left, and although I've been having a lot of fun playing Punkmaster, largely because I've been making some real effort to put some actual punk ethos into the character. And, you know, I'm basing those attitudes on some very specific eras of punk and some attitudes of people I know from the scene or have followed from the scene. Well, I mean, there's skater punk, and then I'm goth. Although, I don't care what anyone wants to tell you. Goth is a definite outgrowth of the punk movement. Now, did it evolve into its own thing? Absolutely. But all I want to do is remind everyone that Susie Sue is old friends with Billy Idol, and both of them essentially had the same formative experiences as punks. That I'd have to look into some of that, Sage, because of what eras you consider of, for example, metal. But yeah, I mean, it's where you look at how different forms of music, what influenced what. You know, so. And of course, the fact that you'll talk to various people and they won't agree.
So,
yes.
No, I'm trying to think because if I recall correctly, one of the earliest mentions of metal in music was, or heavy metal, was from Deep Purple.
That would track.
And with the term coined, yeah, I did take a course in music history back in the day, but this was also like 20 years ago, so
yeah,
I'm a bit foggy.
Well, because for example, I know that grunge. If you track grunge especially in the Seattle scene, which I got to be there for, even though you could see some punk influence, but Nirvana considered them, before the grunge label happened, Nirvana labeled themselves as metal.
Right. Well, and some of it just becomes localization. Like one area is punk, is another area is metal.
Yeah, yeah. Although some would argue you can see a lot of punk ethos in, especially Nirvana, but it's also, yeah, where do you cross that between punk and metal anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite bands.
Some of it was regional. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite bands as a goth is Ghost, who were, at least for a large portion of their career, considered doom metal. Before somebody finally said Ghost's genre is ghost.
I mean, usually the catch-all for something like that is just progressive.
Yeah. I still think I'm going to go see the Ghost concert film on Saturday. Somebody said the best way to describe Ghost is ABBA for goths.
I kind of look at it as Christian rock, but the other kind.
Yeah.
Like the inverted Christian rock.
Okay, so from one of our earlier conversations, another thing I actually don't know about Edward Bosco. I have no freaking clue what his musical tastes are.
All I could go with is wrestling themes.
Yeah, yeah.
We can at least confirm he likes some of the ooze. Or does he?
Yeah, can we trust him? Here's the thing. I think we have much more of a feel of Mark Allen Jr.'s music because he does his music streams.
Admittedly, I have what one would call a eclectic taste myself.
Well, sure. I mean, I consider myself.
Some of it just came from being from going to school for audio.
Oh, sure. I mean, I consider myself goth, but then some of the other songs I have in playlists, fair amount of metal, because again, a lot of crossover. But some interesting progressive stuff too. And stuff I just kind of grew up with. Before I found some of this other music, the music I grew up with as a kid was essentially thanks to other members of my family: Fleetwood Mac, Kiss, And then on my own, I found the Electric Light Orchestra.
So here was the deal with my parents. Oh God, I want to say 200 to 300 a piece records that my parents had, and my dad was rock and roll, blues, metal, that kind of stuff. Mom was disco, pop, musicals. When they combined their record collections together when they got married, they were in low double digits of duplicates. Like they had like maybe 15 or 20 duplicate records.
There you go. So I was at the dentist last week, and he had, he has music playing, and my dentist will sing along while he's drilling. And
okay, which is more painful?
Oh, the singing, definitely. He's a really good dentist. And the music they had on at the time was ABBA, which was another thing I got exposed to because of one of my older sisters. And, the fact that ABBA was freaking everywhere back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And early 80s. And it just amazes me how there's been kind of this weird ABBA renaissance. You see, very, like, if people are doing a club scene, it's very common to have an ABBA song. Usually gimme,
well,
gimme,
it was
gimme.
Two in particular. It was that, and then oh Jesus, I had a Bee Gees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ABBA and the Bee Gees, like if you had nailed down the disco era.
Yeah, and then as I was getting... So here's the thing, as I was getting older, initially, it was with all my friends, I was friends with a lot of metalheads, so a lot of Ozzy, a lot of Zeppelin, a fair amount of Queen. But I had this one small group of my friends who were super into The Who.
Cool.
And I'm like, I got nothing. From sheer amount of, oh my God, influence and talent, you can't ignore The Who.
Well, and again, good proper mixture. When I got to middle school, high school, most of my metal and rock friends were online.
Right.
And then most of my rap and country fans were friends I had in real life.
Ah, well, yeah.
I'm not ashamed to admit I sold copies of rap CDs to my fellow classmates.
Sure.
So many copies of Dr. Dre's The Chronic. That and Snoop Dogg Doggy Style.
Okay, so Travis is directing the question about Johnny Cash to you.
Personally, not a lot. Not much, no. Some of that was overexposure. I had a friend of mine who I lovingly referred to as Chase Cash, because what he would do was he would walk into our regular bar. We were both barflies at the time. Okay. And he would go in with like $3-4 worth of quarters, go up to the jukebox and load up like 7 or 8 Johnny Cash songs back to back to back.
Sure.
Yeah, so like I said, I got a little overexposed on that, but I mean, I can't deny the man's a legend.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, he literally stole, well, I don't want to say stole. He took over Hurt from Trent Reznor with how good he did.
But, well, I think the other thing you look at with somebody like Johnny Cash is he's another performer who transcended a genre. It's like I was saying, Ghost's genre is Ghost. Johnny Cash's genre is Johnny Cash.
Right.
You know, Johnny Cash is. There's a lot of Johnny Cash that's a legitimate influence on the goth culture.
Oh, Travis, it got worse. He tried to dress the part too. The black Western button-up shirt. Yeah.
So what's funny on that point is, so I always had trouble finding clothes for the goth club because I'm a big guy and they don't make clothes like that for people my size. Because I'm essentially a white man built like a Samoan. And the one place I could find clothes that would fit me, that would be appropriate for the goth club, was Western wear shops. But very specifically for formal occasions like weddings.
Right.
So that was sort of the how does big guy find goth stuff without custom making, and answer Western wear.
I mean, I don't know how much you remember, but I had a vest that was I got from my dad that was just can't find another vest like it. It's just like a formal suede leather.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was like, you want a hat with that? No, because that will ruin the look. Then you do that, and then you just have the right jewelry on, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I can't do wide brim hats.
I don't do hats. I don't have a head built for hats.
I can do the flat cap and a bowler.
So
I can manage those, and just a flat out baseball cap if I absolutely have to.
All right. So we need to do another promo because we got a few to burn through. We got 4 left. 2 of them are going to go together. But this is Ignacio Cervantes.
TJ the Mint Gable. You should know by now the absolute units are probably the most respected faction in MNW. But why would you go protect your brothers? They were just fine. Are you, afraid of what I'm becoming? Let me tell you a story about power. In order to fully use the first sword's power, you need to be stronger than a king. To use the second sword, you have to be as incorruptible as the stars. And as you know, I love fighting. But the only thing I love more is hurting people. I love seeing people get hurt and bleed out. Only makes me want to fight harder. So you were right about me. The fault is not in our stars, but in all of you. So manja your peach cobbler and let's end this at Multivania. What do you say?
So there we go. Guess we should. Said play. Now, to be fair, when we talk about some of the other crossover stuff, I know at the Goth Club, one of the songs that was a staple at the clubs I went to back in the 90s was The Chauffeur by Duran Duran. Which I still have on my...
I'm not as familiar with that song of theirs. I know quite a few Duran Duran. My mom was into them.
Right, well, because it's not one of the ones that gets a lot of radio play, because it doesn't sound like other Duran Duran songs. And it's still on my playlist because it was something I came up with now. But I think you also look at, I mean, even within goth, there's such a diversity. Because on one hand, you've got Faith in the Muse, which is very ethereal. You've got the straight, very punk-esque, very Bowie-influenced Bauhaus. And then you have stuff like The Cult, She Wants Revenge. There's an entire genre of goth singing that I call it's just very monotone. And so songs like Tear You Apart by She Wants Revenge, or I would even argue there are some Cramp songs that are like that.
I mean, Ian Curtis had his moments.
And then you get, Joy Division or The Cure, who are very lyrical, very, and yet it's all kind of gets put under the goth umbrella. So, yeah. Come to the wrestling show for Music Theory. Yay. This is what happens on a dark night.
This is more music history.
Yeah.
I was terrible at music theory.
So my sister was actually a music major. With kind of her skill set, she was working towards essentially being a music producer.
Yeah.
But as she got further into her studies, she's essentially saw the kind of people she'd have to work with. And went, oh, this is going to suck as a woman.
Oof, yeah. So for those that don't know, music theory deals more in composition of music, like sheet music and stuff like that. Treble clef, quarter notes, that kind of stuff.
Sometimes the AI targeting biffs it. And then I'm left here having to explain how a flyer made that mistake. So Wand, in the last time I actually played Vampire the Masquerade, which, God, was it about 5 years ago, maybe? 5, 6? I'm trying to remember if it was before. It was after. Was it after lockdown? Anyway, point being, maybe it was before. Yeah, I was playing a Toreador. And it was very much a kind of goth metal character. which is great, but it's also because it's not the kind of character I usually play, so I wanted to try it. I'm going to be honest. I love that in Neon Odyssey, one of the Bard, the icon classes, the subclass is essentially Metalhead. It's a heavy metal character. And yet one of the others is smooth jazz. And I just had an evil... Is Bob still here? Because I just had an evil thought. Yep, Bob's still here. So Bob, hear me out. A Soul Jammer, the smooth jazz icon, but a Motlin.
Kind of like Mr. Rippums almost.
A little, but I mean, Rippums,
at least visually.
Yeah, because there's a part of Rippums that would have maybe made some sense as a metalhead, whereas I think if you want to go the smooth jazz version, you're talking Mr. Boss.
Sure.
There we go. So, Bob, I got to ask, do you have access? Did you ever clip or save at all the We Are Number One match between Mr. Boss and the Creation? Because that was a freaking classic. And it's interesting how the music appeared to line up to the action in ring. Because that's one that should have been saved forever. There you go. That was insane. That and of course the one match that wouldn't end because you put the wrong two people in a submission match, and that has nothing to do with the Heresy match, which didn't end for a whole nother reason.
There's a match that never ends.
Well, especially because somebody said just fucking pin him over. Who was on the mic with you that? Was it Zacho? Because I almost want to say it was Zacho yelling it, but it could have been Bob. It was John Euclidean and New. Because as Bob's pointing out, they had max sub defense and no sub offense, and they were in a sub match, which was one of those, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. Alrighty then.
Might have been Grizzly.
Could have been. I mean, I could see it being something where, yeah, it was a 45-minute match, and one of the commentators, it wasn't Bob, so it was probably Grizz, just yelled, just pin him already. And
it was either that or Arkolf.
Yeah, because it was, well, just finish it already, because then the submission finally happened. So here's the thing. Before I get into the next round of promos, because we're going to do 2 in a row. Back in the early days of MNW, when people were seeing of, oh, hey, this can work, because we had, of the stuff that's still around, obviously the Maelstrom, but we also had, I cannot remember, because we had Sean had one, Jake had one, Zacho had one. I think Zacho had 2. The one I miss the most of all of them, though, was RIW, World Initiative Wrestling, which was Connor's, because everything was Dungeons and Dragons themed. And it was just fun, also because Connor was a really good commentator. And I had thought of, well, I'd have fun. I was like, oh, can I do that? That could be fun. But I was terrible at building characters. Still am, honestly. And it was like, there's so many now. So, of course, as I said earlier, and of course, here I am now. So, yeah. Okay, so let's see. TKW was Sean. TXW was Jake. WTFE was Snig. UCW was Zacho. RIW was Connor. And there's still a couple that are around. Honey Bunnies got hers that I still see pop up. Cryptic is doing his. I know Morris has one he does now. So it's not like they're gone. It's just a lot of the original. Squatch is doing his, although he's got a whole different setup than most of us. But I think it also comes down to, there was a lot of experimental stuff happening back in the day. Especially as people were figuring out ways you could, mutate the game. So, anyway, let's do some promos. So I'm gonna do, because they are interrelated, I'm going to do the Sajar Cole and then the response from M.
Here we are once again, Flashbang. A grand hunt held once a cycle. The hunt many of us desire to be a part of, to make names and tales. And I can assure you of one thing. Honorbound is going to be very busy this cycle. We have many goals, many dishonors to rectify. The Trios champions, the Big Oof, as well as assisting our allies, as well as any who ask, and ensuring their defending matches go honorably despite the plotting of certain snakes. Speaking of defending titles, we also have an interesting as well as humorous situation we've been put in. For surely the honor-bound PAX numbers are too small to be everywhere at once, and in order to defend our titles we hold for a more worthy foe, surely that means that I, Graven, McMorgan, and Quiltusk must be the ones in the War Games match. Well, you have my word, Graven and I will be in that ring. But as for the other two, I, truthfully, have yet to decide. What I have decided is a challenge of sorts, if you will. First of all, I want to make this interesting. I do not call myself the leader of this pack. Others may refer to me as such if they choose, but I force none to. However, I choose to lead my pack in this fight. I will be the first of Honorbound in that ring, and I want you to meet me in that ring as the first tool, puppet. That's right, M. I want you and I to be the first ones to draw life current. You can refuse, of course. I'm sure no one would judge you as a coward. Don't disappoint me.
And now let's hear the response by M. If I can find it.
Dear Sajar, unofficial leader of Honor-Bound, votes pending, lever of toilet seats up, second best hunter in the multiverse, translator for Trekkie conventions, unofficially banned by any dental hygienist in the square multiverse, master of the recruit and run technique, destroyer of the Empire of Terror t-shirts, unofficial executive club tag title carrier, not earned, possible mouth breather, Yilifhim Dog Gilif, proclamator of personal punctuation, preferred puppet pronouncer, and the only being in the multiverse who thought calling out people would get them to comply or risk being called a coward by a false alpha Cole. No. Signed, M.
All right. We have one last promo left, and this is our last booked match. So, Tim, should we do the last promo and then the match, or the match and then the last promo?
Promo first, I'd say.
Okay. So this is Rico Rose.
War games? You don't understand, do you? This kind of match is what I thrive on. Pura, unadulterated violencia. In a war games match, there are no deserters and no mercy. Honor-bound, you claim to be the Hounds of Hell, the Fate Weavers. Well, newsflash, Golero, I'm not scared of hell, and fate can be rewritten at any time. I'll show you on the greatest stage of all that this was never just a hunt. This was an all-out war. I'll show everyone what happens when the brakes are off and nothing can stop me. See you at Vania.
And there we have it. All right, let's do this last match. This one came up in the random. I was like, yeah, let's let these two fight. Speaking of characters, I forgot to take belts off of. You know what? It's not going to matter after tonight because this is the last time I'm using this game.
Hey, heck, you might even be able to uninstall.
Oh, believe me, that's the dream. You know, when we had an earlier question about characters that were influential in the universe, this is another one. No, I'm. Oh wait, is the game muted? Oh, I turned the audio down a little.
No, I think they might have been thinking that you were saying something and your mic was muted.
It's the curse of the end of the night. As I start getting tired, I'll like. One of the things I have to, especially here, if I'm not focusing. As I get tired, I have a tendency to disassociate. It's something I have to work on at Toastmasters too. And so sometimes when I stop talking, it's just I'm fighting disassociating. And I just heavily disassociated right there.
No worries.
But, it's always get through the show. Tell the story. It'll be much easier this weekend.
Well, to Vegeta's question.
Oh, what was Vegeta's question? Do you guys have something worked out for in-ring promos in 26? I suspect we're just going to be... Zacho will never be free of 19. Is my suspicion. And the problem is, as long as the game doesn't give us something with which we can build promos, and Zacho has tried things with cutscenes, with how they do promos in the game. I mean, Bosco has basically given up. And just leaves promos to the pre-records. But Zacho, he really still likes to tell a lot of the story through in-ring promos. So, we go with, unless 2K ever reintroduces more long-form promos. Because they always want to treat promos as they don't care about what we do. They're like, oh, well, people want to play the game. So promos is always going to lead to something in ring. Yeah, but it's not something he does regularly, whereas on Warzone, every other segment is an in-ring promo. Which, I will admit, one of the nice things about doing the in-ring promos that way, pre-recorded, is it lets me, if I'm doing RNG, lets me set up the next match and lets it load while the in-ring is happening. I'm looking forward to getting into it, Bob, now that Arkoff has the characters together. So, like I said, the way we're doing it now is going to have a lot of advantages. One of the best is avoiding like what happened here, where I'm just going to get whatever variation of the characters Zacho has built, because we're going to be using the same setup. I mean, that's also fair want. Being able to tell the difference between the shows. I mean, there's a lot of little... The one thing, if I could convince Bosco to do one thing, it would be to have a proper transition screen and not going to his generic "we'll be right back" screen. Going to what even going to the graphic we have. But the reason that doesn't necessarily work is Bosco organizes things completely differently from how I do. Bosco and I, one of the things, when I prepare a show, I have slots for every video preloaded, and I just have to press a button. Bosco is loading things constantly. But I think it's, to each to how they're comfortable. It's like they did an experiment once, having somebody who weaves in and out of traffic to get ahead, and somebody who just stays steady, trying to force each other to drive like the other. And so, of course, the steady driver was freaking out trying to do the weaving. But the weaver was getting anxious not weaving.
I'd also be curious on the actual difference in time.
I mean, there is that too. I mean, it was mostly a how well, it was literally a check on how well could one adapt to the other, and the answer was neither. Yeah. Because not doing what they're used to doing created anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to notice that too, Sage. For the most part, both of our shows have gotten pretty locked into about two and a half hours.
Yeah, which I think works. I mean, for me, I would be wearing out. This Friday is going to be rough on me. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Yeah, so because it's going to be a longer show on Friday, that's going to be a challenge. But I'm going to have the advantage of I'm not doing all of it by myself. I'm going to have another voice there to be able to take some of the load. So, and of course, we've got the absolute insanity that's going to be. So, hang on. As I get ready for this. Reminder, we are going to, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to go through them. But here are the posters for everything. Thanks to Matrix's work, the appropriate days they're going to be on. What was I saying? Oh, so again, we're going to go on Friday because of Bosco's got some scheduling conflicts we got to work around. Going to start at 4:30 because the earlier the better, because basically Bosco has a hard stop at 9:30 Pacific. And so we want to try and give enough timing. And we have made a goal amongst the video creators of keep everything short enough so we can be done in 4 hours. Because the sooner Bosco can get out, the happier he'll be. And then, Sunday's a lot more free form because we don't have a hard stop. The only limitation we have is how damn tired Bosco's going to be. All right, let's go over this. Okay, so here are the posters. Of course, we've got the interdimensional match. El Pollo versus Scotty Stevens. We've got the King of the Showcase match, which has a rogues gallery of those from... and it's going to be... Bosco, he's doing something weird this time, guys. He's hacking the showcase. Because if you do a quick count, there's more than 8 people on that screen.
Nani?
What's he done? I don't know. I'm assuming it involves voodoo. Then, of course, the Friday night main event. The Tommy Black versus the Blue Hood. Strongly Dunk versus Theron with the TTV Championship. Los Villanos Ingobernables versus Absolute Units. in a grudge match. The Flashbang Tag Championship, Honor Bound versus the Executive Club. Sawyer versus Zeta. Loser leaves Warzone. Then the Multiversal Ant and Adrian Driscoll versus Hero Time. The Authority versus the Princedom for the Trios Championship. Then we've got the Brass Briefcase, which for the first time is going to have a Warzone wrestler involved. And the Brass Briefcase is a fun idea, especially because it's much different. It's, we don't know what the belt is. I mean, we know. Zacho, Tim, Bosco, and I already decided that you don't know. And then the Pick Your Poison executive match, Victor Visich and Brawl Kaiser versus Crimson Phoenix. I'm getting tired, Tim. Crimson Phoenix versus Spectrum for the Flashbang Heavyweight Championship. The Madness and the Funk in a Madhouse match. And then Helix versus somebody in a Beat the Streak match. Necrom versus Khan in an Inferno match. And then Malice Prime versus Sasquatch Wing for the Underworld Championship. Nice Ice versus Red Star Roman in a grudge match. That would be cool, Morris. A vacant. It would be the weirdest thing ever. Sergeant Major Payne versus Bully Dog Grant Martin for the Big Oof Championship. Yeah, Helix versus Danhausen. Very nice, very evil. And that's what I got. So there we have it. That is going to be your Multivania card. What was the name of of whatever you were saying the vacants were made out of, Bob?
Also, Sage is saying there's at least one more match.
Is there? Okay, hang on. I swear I got everything. What Flex Seal? What was the match, Sage? So I can try and find the poster. Oh, no poster was made. That match. Look.
The mirror match.
Bosco wouldn't tell me. Oh, there's the mirror match. That's right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Sunday's going to be a weird day. All I'm saying.
Shenanigans will occur.
They will. All right, hang on. Because it's time to wrap up. Okay, so first off, gang, I'm going to be very honest. Because you kind of hear I'm wearing thin. It's been a long day. I know that Sage and Wander in the voice chat. Guys, I'm not coming in. We've been talking all night. So I appreciate you. But once we raid, I'm going to go spend time with my wife and my dog. Which does mean I have to figure out who the hell we're going to raid. So let's see who we got.
Wiley's doing Final Fantasy Tactics.
That's a pretty good choice. Yeah, we're going to do Wiley. Is he using his guitar as a controller again?
No, I think he might be using his piano. Or
Dude,
not piano, like full piano, but like little mini keyboard.
It's still the fact that man has talents. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All right, so give Wiley some appreciation. And before I send you off on that raid, don't forget, join us on Thursday for Dr. Caliban's Nightmare Cinema, where we are going to be watching episodes 10 and 11 of Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars. Or as it is now, The Happy Show. Because Flash knows what he did. And then Friday, join us for Multivania Day 1. And then Sunday, join us on Bosco's channel for Multivania Day 2. And then next Monday, leave me alone. I'm going to be sleeping. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the Dark Show. Looking forward to seeing you all at Multivania. And have a good night.